Hey everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be the first day of my December daily for 2019. I am working a year behind, so I am going to label my videos 2020 because I'm working on them this year, but I am documenting last year. I've talked about why in previous videos, so I just wanted to come on live really quickly just to kind of show you where I am at with my foundation pages and my process, what I'm thinking before I get started, so you can kind of get an idea of how things evolve as I'm creating. So to start with, I have this pattern paper. I have a 6 by 2 by 2 inch square protector here, and day one's going to be a double page spread because we decorated the tree this day, but we also went to a Christmas market in the morning with friends, so I want to document all that. I already have 2 cards in here from gifts that the friends gave my children on this day, so I kept those. I was able to trim them down to 2 by 2, and I've just slipped the back. I just want to cover up the text, but I've just slipped the back of the card into the pocket and left the flap free. Now, the friends that are in these photos don't like their photos on social media, so I am going to cover up their photos where I can. I think I'm actually going to put their photos on the inner flap of these, so when you flip it up, their photos will be here, so that when I'm working on this, it just makes it a little bit easier to show you guys. So I have some photos printed out already. So I just need to be careful to cover them up. So this is the photo that I was going to put on this cover of me and my husband and our friends. But I think I'm actually going to trim this down so it just shows them, and then put that inside one of these. Again, just for ease of keeping their faces off social media, really. So I have printed out this photo of me and my husband. It's one of the nicest photos that we had taken together that year, and we don't often get nice photos together, so I thought that would be a nice opportunity to use that. And then I'll just cover up the kids in this photo. But then I printed out a bunch of 2 by 2 photos. Some of them are for this side and some of them are for the tree, so close-ups of my tree and my daughter, and the other ones while we were at the restaurant having breakfast here before the markets. So that is as far as I have gotten. I have popped in this little holiday market tag and my number, but that's it. This page is going to be a full page photo. So I have this printed out in 6 by 8. It's a photo of my son putting the star on the tree. It is a little too big. My pages are about 5 1/4 inches, so I will have to trim off about 3/4 of an inch off this photo to get it to fit, and just a tiny bit off the top. But that's just going to go there, and I may add some stickers or something over the top. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Let's get started. First of all, I have gone ahead off camera and adhered those photos down underneath the flap. I did manage to trim that photo of all the 4 of us down so that all 4 of our faces fit on it. I did have to trim the sides of the guys' heads off slightly, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I will probably do a full page spread based on this day in my yearly album anyway. But for now, I am just going through and just playing with all the bits and pieces, these little pockets. I popped in those photos of my son and my daughter. We just went for a really lovely kind of brunch breakfast thing before we headed to the markets. So that's just photos of them. And my daughter was actually opening up her little Christmas gift, so that was really sweet. They're not the best photos. There's lots of shadows and kind of harsh lighting, but I'm fine with that, especially as I printed them quite small, so you can't really tell. I am going to end up using this pink holiday market tag rather than the mustard. I really love the mustard. I just thought there was a bit too much colour going on already, so I decided to save that for another project. I'm just flipping through now trying to find a pattern paper that I like. I do end up punching out a circle of this red to back my number on. I don't end up using it for this purpose though. I just wanted to bring in a bit more of the red. I do have that tag, or that Mickey Mouse tag with a lot of red in it, and my daughter's dress has a lot of red, but I thought it was just a bit too, I'm not sure, I just didn't really like it. It was just a bit too stark at the top there, and it is right next to that red in my daughter's dress, so I do decide to use that circle somewhere else. And I've just gone ahead and punched a circle out of that foiled gold foiled craft pattern paper that's really pretty. It's from Basil, and I do try to bring a bit of craft into this project, so I thought that was perfect to back the little number on. I kind of felt a bit odd about including a circle on a page with so many squares, but I just wanted to bring in a different shape, I guess. So I do end up using that red circle over on the left of my large photo there, so that brings that red across to that page. I'm also bringing in this green banner, just echoes some of that green that's in that little Minnie Mouse tag. And I'll also add this cute little holly berry and leaf die cut that's from Rosie Studio. And some of these little, they're not enamel, they're puffy dots and stars and hearts. So I do end up popping a couple more of those dots just around that punched out circle just to bring in some more circles. It was just looking a little bit bare. So I've just pulled out this page to start working on this a little bit easier on the tabletop. And I am going to use that Christmas wishes tag for my journaling, but first I want to make a little pocket for it on the back side of my photo. So I like to do this when I am making a tag pocket if possible. It just helps to create a space for the tag to slide in and out more easily. All I'm doing is taking some scrap paper strips and creating a little pocket. So I'm using my tag there as a guide to where it should be. I'm leaving a bit of space either side. And I also need to do this because if I don't, the tag is just going to slide right to the bottom. It's far too short for the length of the photo, so I just need to make a little space for it. So I've just used paper strips, and then I am going to stick those paper strips down with a bit of adhesive so that when I stick it to the back of the page, there's no, creates that little pocket. I don't know why I find it so hard to explain what I'm doing when I'm doing this, but that is the reasoning behind that. It also stops it from sticking. So I find that you can do the same thing with double-sided tape and just use tape rather than paper strips, but I find that the sides of my tag stick to those strips of double-sided tape when I do that. So I've learned to use the paper, and because I've used liquid adhesive, that will dry completely dry and there'll be no tack left when I am popping my tag in and out. So I'm just adding a bit of ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's from American Crafts. It's just a candy stripe, red and white. I've used it so much in past December projects and I don't have that much left of it. I can see myself using it all up this year. So I've just added that in with a staple and that slides in really nicely in and out there. And my journaling is just going to be added with a white gel pen. It just stands out so nicely on the craft. So I'm using the Uniball Signo Broad gel pen in white. That is the best white gel pen I've found. That's nice and opaque. And yeah, I think I'm just writing about going to the Christmas markets and how it was a beautiful day with our friends. Just let that dry before I pop it in because it is quite a wet ink. There we go. That brings some more craft in as well on that tag. That tag, if you're wondering, I actually got that from Target. It is one of the charity tag sets this year, so it's meant for a gift tag, but I love using gift tags in my December daily projects. I'm adding my little glittery hole reinforcers there, and I'm pretty sure that is going to call it good for the first half of day one. I'm going to flip over to the back side now and start working on the rest of day one, which was our tree decorating event. So I've got a large 6x8 photo of my son popping the star on the tree. He always does that every year. I'm not sure what's going to happen when my daughter is old enough to do it or when she's old enough to care about doing it. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I always like to include a photo of him popping the star on the tree. So you can see my pages aren't quite 6x8. They're more like 5¼ by 8. So I did have to trim off a fair bit of the photo. And I was hoping not to punch a hole right through my husband's head, but it does end up happening. So I just sort of went, oh well, whatever. It's not a photo about him. He's really just the arms lifting my son up. So the photo is about my son and the trees. So I left it and called it good. So on this page, I'm going to use this little photo of my daughter. I like to think she's looking up at the tree, but I actually think she's looking up at the television. But I was just really pleased that I managed to get a photo of her with those antlers on because she hates wearing things on her head, hats and hairbands and stuff. So I actually managed to get her to keep those on long enough to take a photo. So I made sure to include some close-ups of the tree as well. I really like that element. Now for the back part of this circle, I was having trouble keeping it still in the pocket. So I've just gone ahead and added some adhesive straight to the back and I'm going to line that up and stick it so that will hold it still in the pocket. And then I'm going to add this Be Merry tag right on the outside so that it covers up that adhesive while still keeping everything still inside the pocket. That is one thing I really do like to do when I'm doing out of the pocket projects like this. So now I'm going to work on the back of this tag. I'm going to use some more of that quatrefoil pattern foil craft cardstock to back this tag. So I didn't just want a blank back of the tag. So I've just stuck it down, trimmed it to size, and then I'll repunch those little corners out. And then I'm just going to staple it straight onto the front of the page protector. I really like having staples in these projects. And I really like the extra detail it provides, and I've also hung it off the side of the page protector too to help as a bit of a tab, a page turner element. And what I'm going to do on the back here is just add a sticker because I do have the back of those staples peeking through, and I am worried about it scratching my photo there on the right hand side because it is out of the page protector. So I just used one of those crepe paper Merry Christmas tags, or stickers rather, and I really like that. Another pop of red there. I am going to use this little bit of transparency in my last pocket. I've just trimmed down that bit of packaging from Rosie Studio because I didn't like just the plain, the back of the photo there has the photo branding on it, so I've just added that bit of packaging in for a bit of a subtle pattern paper, and then the star patterned acetate over the top is really pretty. The last thing I'm going to do is just add a little element on top of my photo here. I did like that Merry Christmas tag, but I do end up finding a Jingle Bells one. There you go, it has a candy stripe that matches the ribbon at the top there, so I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I'm just going to stick that straight on top of my photo and call it good. So that is page 1 all done. It is quite simple, but I did really enjoy playing around with that 2x2 page protector there and doing my double page spread. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.